Jose Aldo, you are a friend of mine. I like to have you with a little salt and lime. You guys know that song? Listen. Jose Aldo, come on, what a career. What a career this was, and what a resurgence. And you just don't see things like this. Now, this is what dreams are made of. What Jose Aldo did is what Jeremy Stevenson's dreams to do. I fantasize about it every night. Every night when I'm watching Five, I've got this fantasy of, can you come back? Can you come back after you've achieved? Can you come back after you achieve and you've been pushed out of the business? How do you come back to a business that you already got pushed out of? I mean, how? Who could you look to as a sports great? Could you look to a swimmer, a basketball player, a baseball player? Do you know somebody that left the sport begrudgingly? They didn't leave on their own terms. They got pushed out and somehow got better and got back in? I don't think you could think of anybody, not to mention Jose looked great last night. He didn't get beat last night with the punches or the kicks or the wrestling or the submissions. He got beat last night with an intangible known as cardio, which generally speaking will always go to the younger guy. The younger guy is not guaranteed to be faster, bigger, stronger, or even better. The guarantee and the reason that youth matters is purely from a fatigue standpoint, and fatigue and cardio is such a big part of the sport. Now, you've never heard that before, but you also hear from a bunch of dum-dums that don't know much about the sport. And I'm just leveling with you. Like, yes, Jose lost last night, but he didn't lose the battle that he should have lost. He didn't lose the battle that we thought he would lose, which is a stick'em contest, which is I touch you, you touch me, move around a 10-point bus system. Someone get a finish, get down the ground, put him in the fence, start dropping elbows. He wasn't losing that. Now, he got ground and pounded pretty bad, but it wasn't from a lack of technique. There was an exhaustion there. He fought a very good opponent. I just share with you what an incredible career and how. How did he do it? Like, can you look at somebody else, even in a different sport, who after years got better with time? And if you could pull out some of those names, Lance Armstrong might be an example. And I don't know that he got better with time, but he returned to some pretty good form with time. But you're talking about something very different when you're talking about a chemical monstrosity, right? Like somebody willing to put those kind of chemicals into their ass cheek, it's very different than a level playing field. Now Jose is no different than so many other UFC champions who, when USADA came in, they became the incredible shrinking man. I mean, steroids in this order. Bigger, stronger, faster. In that order. That is what an anabolic will do. Bigger. Step one. Stronger, faster. So when USADA comes in and you remove the bigger, stronger, faster, right? Guys get smaller. We had UFC champions, UFC world champions, that from the time USADA stepped in till present, never won another fight. And they also did it down a weight class. Now, it's important that we understand that, because we don't get a pit like Lance Armstrong, where we go, yeah, but he took a bunch of chemicals. That's not what Jose did. For sure, that is not what Jose Aldo did. Bigger, stronger, faster. No, he went down. He was not taking anything. There is no leaner, lighter, quicker anabolic. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. Like, if you were to go through the list and talk about athletes, or talk about somebody that's done this as a way of showing how impressed you were, I don't know that you could find an example. Like, truly, Jose Aldo did something. It was so impressive. And Brett Favre was a huge name that came to our sport. Now these guys sit front row and love it. But at the time that Brett Favre came to our sport, there was not mainstream and fantastic athletes. And Brett Favre came, and he was a bit of a fight fan, but he was really a Randy Couture fan. Because Brett was playing later in his career. He was playing into his 40s. And he did a great job, and he played equal to the way that he did in his early 30s. But that's not what Brett wanted. Brett wanted to be better in his 40s. He wanted to get better like Randy Couture. And he went and he talked to him. He didn't know what else to do. He flew out. He scheduled a time. He went into Randy's gym. He said, "Can I talk? My name is Brett Favre. I play football. I've seen the poster. It's up signed at Randy's gym. I mean, it's a very cool moment. It was cool that Brett Favre did that. But it was also cool and more cool that Randy Couture could inspire Brett Favre to do that. And when I look at Jose Aldo, I just look at a guy that did it right. I really do. Jose, when he came out, the last person that he gave his greeting to was Andre Pederneiras, and that's exactly who it should have been. But I don't know if you could find an athlete that from the time they were a kid, through the highs and the lows and the world championship and the release and the MMA stardom to over to boxing mid-cards, coming back to fighting at home in sold-out arenas to going to Canada and having to make a walk. I mean, I don't know that you could find anybody that has stayed as loyal as Jose Aldo. And there's few qualities that a person can have in life than to be loyal. I mean, you got to believe in something. Or what good are you? What can I do with you? What am I supposed to do with you? Because right out of the gate, if you're not loyal to something, the one thing I can't do is count on you, followed by trust in you. And I just think when you look at the Jose Aldo story, I think there's so many moving parts here that we have just simply never seen before. And he's been recognized to the highest of esteem. Some of the biggest fights ever. Opposite Conor McGregor, just for example. Record at that time. That's a record that Conor's coming and broken, but it's still exists, still up there. WEC champion. UFC champion. They were so sure about Jose Aldo. They made him the UFC champion at a press conference. Are you aware of that? Jose Aldo had never stepped foot in the octagon, let alone thrown a punch in it, let alone won a fight in it. And they declared him the world champion. I mean, could you imagine the embarrassment if he had not lived up to that? Could you imagine what a fool you would feel and look like to have somebody in your record books that was your champion that never landed a punch or never won a fight? I mean, think about the confidence they had in him, truly. When Jose comes back, he goes down a weight, right? So many people believe you go down a weight, it gets easier. If I can do well at 145, I'll do great at 135. I know that people believe that, but again, you cannot show me an example in history. You cannot show me anybody that did that. You can show me plenty the other way, where a guy did fine at 145, then he goes on and does great at 155, right? Frank Yeager was not a title contender at 135, for example. He was the champion of the world at 155. The higher you go, the easier it gets. But Jose did it in reverse, and he did it against the absolute best guys. And he fought them tooth and nail. He fought them all night long. It was just really an honorable thing. But when you're talking about the great Jose Aldo, and you're talking about the multiple-time world champion between WEC, between UFC, please make sure you include the loyalty to Andre Pederneiras, the loyalty that Jose had to his gym, to his city, and to his country. And if you talk about the loyalty that Jose showed to his gym, to his city, to his country, and to his trainer, and you talk about that stronger than you talk about him being in the Hall of Fame and being a two-division world champion, he would prefer it that way. Because in a business filled with disappointment and filled with dirty guys, Jose sure appeared to do damn near everything right.